All right, Shifu Reed here from the Kingdom Warrior Academy of Martial Arts here in St. Joseph, Missouri. I'm going to do just a quick walkthrough of the first 6 postures of the Tai Chi 48 form that we use, which is a Hun Yuan form. It's a cut down form from their 83, which eliminates a lot of the redundancy in the form. So we're going to do just the first 6 postures here and then bring it to a close. And so I'm going to walk through it. So we're going to put our heels together, toes apart, standing right here. I'm going to try to stay inside the cones. My weight is even. I'm going to shift into my right. I'm going to sink. Step out with my left, heel first, and then roll the foot flat all the way to the left. Small wave as I come right, and then back. Big wave as I go right, and then left, and then right again as I push it out, and then left again as my hand comes down. Right as my hands come out, my weight shifts into my heel as my hands come away from my body. And then hands come down. Reverse the circle as I go to the right. And then I stop in the middle, hands flat on the counter. End of posture 1. I'm going to shift right. Hands come up the body as I rotate. Left foot steps to the side here as my hands come out. And then I do 2 hand circles the globe. Stopping on my left. And then right pulls to the waist. I'm going to come back down here, what I call the basketball passing posture. I'm going to do up, down, and in. So I'm going to pung up as I on down, up, down, and then my left foot is going to toe in. You can do this by either pivoting with the weight on it, or you can shift up and then back into it. Right foot slides back, and I'm going to guide the child past me. Shift into that right foot, hands go palm down. I'm going to lift my left foot as I wipe the table with a giant cloth in a counterclockwise direction. And then I'm going to go into a diagonal guard position. My heel steps down towards the yellow cup, yellow cone. My weight's on my right foot. My body is still in upright posture. My hands press out, vertical palms in line with each other. My index fingers, crown of my head, and my ankle form a straight line if you're looking at me from above. And then I shift down, draw a half circle like I'm drawing a bowl, come across the top of the bowl, and circles around the boulder, comes down in front of my right thigh. Now my left foot, I'm going to pivot out just a little bit so it's be where I want it to be when I shift into it, which is going to happen in just a second. I shift in, chop to the belly, right hand closes, right foot and hand move together, and I'm in a cat stance. My right hand punching chin, my left hand is palm down, fingertips between elbow and wrist. I'm going to pull my hand back, up the body, and out with a back fist. Left hand comes up the body and out with a back hand. Call that reeling hands. And then big hug. Hand and foot stomp together, but the weight stays on the left. That ends the second posture. I'm going to shift into my right. As I turn and rotate, my hands come up. I'm going to push, not at a 45, not at a 90, but in the space between. I'm going to push, and then my left foot comes away from the body as I widen my stance, as my hands come away from the body. Hands open, separate. Right comes underneath belly button. Left circles around and does on, pressing downward. Pierce over. Hand turns out to a forward bow, and I'm going to push with my left as I pull with my right as I shift and rotate. Right hand circles around. Underneath belly button, left hand circles around. Press down, pierce over just like we did before. This time my right hand is going to go into a forward bow again. My right foot's going to toe in. I'm going to shift into it. I'm going to go to a left heel pivot and open the window blinds. And my hands come together as I shift into my left foot and my right comes together. I'm in a right empty stance now. I'm going to come up, raise my right knee, and draw giant eyebrows. Don't fall over. step back, heel touches, and my right foot toes out to where I want it to be when I shift into it in just a minute. Left hand is going to come to my right shoulder. Then as I rotate across, I'm going to shift into my right foot. My left foot's going to toe in to match my right foot position, and my left hand is going to draw across my body like a sash to my left hip. Now my hand stays in front of my sternum. I'm on my right leg predominantly. And then from here, I'm going to sink my weight to my hips into my heels, and I'm going to square my body. Now I'm going to circle one hand into two hands, connect my forearms. My right is on the outside in a forward bow, index finger and thumb, which forms the tiger's mouth, clamping up against my forearm of my left hand. My left hand is doing a reverse bow, so the palm is towards me. I'm squeezing my forearms together, so there's pressure there, there's not a gap. And the space between my ring finger and my middle finger is split across my biceps. I'm going to shift in and I'm going to push, and this would be form west. Form north, form west. Then hands come down, I grab an imaginary sword by the scabbard, shift into the left, I present the sword to the emperor, left hand crosses behind the right, inverts down, I rotate to the left, my left hand swipes off, catch an imaginary football and hide it behind my ears, bring it in front of my belt buckle as I shift into my right foot. This is an empty stance, left empty stance because my left foot is empty of weight. I'm going to do a left hand open, scan the room, come back, double hand open, scan the room, come back. Now my right hand is in my left elbow, my left hand is palm up like I'm holding a deck of cards. I'm going to deal that top deck with a horizontal chop. Hand turns over. Now I'm going to split the melon in my right hand with a vertical chop. I'm going to pull that pesky string out of my armpit and hold it out here for everybody to see. Left hand is down by my waist. I'm going to parry with my left leg and step out wide. Heel touches first and then toes. And now my feet should be relatively toe out at the same angle. I'm going to shift into my left, ring a bell, holding a ball, imaginary ball. I'm going to come over here as I shift to my right. I'm going to roll the ball around my belly button, letting my pelvis kind of follow that motion, connecting my wrists. Now I'm going to show everybody my ball. Sink and square. Now, hands come down, relaxed in front of my left thigh. I'm going to do a big circle. Two hand circles the globe. I'm going to cut that circle in half. I'm going to underline it, palms face to the left. As my palms pass my right foot, it toes in. Weight's on the left. Then I'm going to shift back into my right leg. Two hands block my head, and I'm in a left cat stance. Right hand circles around. I'm going to shift into my left foot and bring my right foot up to a right empty stance. This is called a neutral posture. The left hand is up by my cheek. Right hand is in front of my right hip. I'm going to be in this posture 3 times. Each time, I'm going to do a single hand open with my right hand. I'm going to go open once, and I'm going to go to a heel touch, back to neutral posture, and then I'm going to do my second open, shift into the right foot, come back to neutral posture. Notice that my right foot slid back about an inch and now it's flat instead of in a heel touch. Now I'm going to shift into that right foot, open again, bring my left foot to an empty stance. Right hand is up against an imaginary wall. Left hand is against an imaginary counter. Now, this is the end of the 6th posture. So I'm going to turn with my left foot, I'm going to toe in, Bring my right heel to touch. Squeeze my knees together. My knees are still soft and bent. Right hand on top of left. I'm going to do a big circle. Push down. And that ends the first 6. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change my orientation of my tones a little bit. And I'm going to run that again, facing a different direction, so you have a different angle. And hopefully I won't mess it up too bad. When you do a form facing the same direction in the same place all the time, you learn to subconsciously cue off of your environment. So it's good practice for you to periodically change the direction you face in the room, practice the form in different places. Hopefully these things don't get in my way here. Here we go. Heels together, toes apart, weight is even. I'm relaxed. I have active feet and hands, soft knees and elbows, sunk shoulders and hips, upright posture, which means the crown of my head is pressing up towards the sky while my hips feel like they're sinking down. I'm going to shift into my right foot, sink as I lift my left heel, step out, heel touch first, roll flat, small wave, big wave, push the wave back out to sea, comes down, up and out, weight shifts into my heels, reverse that circle, make it smaller, weight stops in the middle, about the only time that this happens. Hands are flat on a counter. I'm going to shift into my right, rotate to my right, hands come up the body, and then out. As my foot comes out, hands block down, circle, 2 hand circles the globe. Stops on the left, T, right hand comes to hip, left circles, right hand joins it, presses down, basketball passing posture. Up, down, and in. Right foot slides back, guide the child past me, wipe the table, lift the knee, diagonal guard. Draw the bowl. Right hand circles around a big boulder, stops to rest in front of my right thigh, palm away from my body. Left foot toes out, chop, punch. This is a cat stance with my right foot, jab to the chin, left hand is on my right forearm between wrist and elbow. Pulls down and up, back fist down, up, back hand down, big hug, hand and foot land together. This is end of second posture, weights on the left. Shift into my right as I push away between 45 and 90 degrees. My left foot shifts out to widen my stance. Right hand stops on the belly button. Left hand keeps going. Presses down. My weight shifts right and then left. Pierce over. Pull across. Left hand pushes into the hip. Right hand is pulling an arm. Right hand circles around. Comes underneath belly button. The left hand circles around. Presses down. Pierce over again. Forward bow. Right foot toes in. I shift into my right. I go to a heel pivot. Open the blinds. And then everything comes together. Right empty stance. And my right leg lifts. And I draw giant eyebrows. Step back. Notice how my pelvis has to shift to allow my foot to toe out. My hands are still here. My left hand comes to my shoulder. And as I shift into my right foot and rotate, my hand draws a sash and my left foot pivots. Now my feet roughly are toed out the same degree. Hand is in front of my sternum. Sorry about that. Hand is in front of the sternum. Left hand is by my waist. I'm facing not 45 degrees, not 90 degrees, but the space between. I'm going to shift, sink. My index finger points up as my body sinks. My weight's still on my right, but my weight shifts a little down. Goes left as I single hand block down, 2 hand block down, forearm press together, into a G movement. Grab the sword, present to the emperor as I shift to my left. A little bit of a right shift, cross behind, invert down, back to my left as I rotate and shift my left arm off of my right hand. Catch that football and hide it behind my left ear. Shift into my right. Now notice I twisted my foot a little to put me at the right position. So these little micro adjustments, you should feel free to do that whenever you need to so that you're in the right position when you get there. Now I'm in a left empty stance, holding that football down in front of my belt buckle. I'm going to do a left diagonal open, scan the room, double open, scan the room, present the deck to be split. I'm going to deal that card, turn my hand over, I'm going to split that melon, then I'm going to pull that string out. Left-handed by waist, parry and step, ring the bell, hold the ball, roll the ball. Connect the wrist and open up, sink and square, weights on the left. Hands come down in front of the left thigh, big circle, cut that circle in half, underline the circle, right foot toes in, shift into the right foot, cat stance, block the head with two hands. Right hand circles around, weight goes into the left, now we're in a right empty stance. Neutral posture. After every neutral posture, I'm going to do a diagonal open. So that's the first neutral posture, first diagonal open, second neutral posture, heel touch. Shift into that right foot, diagonal open, come back into my left, slide that right foot back just a tiny bit. Should still be clearly in front of my left foot. So now I'm in neutral posture again. I'm going to do my last diagonal open. Shifting into the foot, left foot comes forward into an empty stance, and I'm pressing up against the wall in front of me, down on the counter beside me. Left foot toes in, right foot heel touches, knees pressed together, right hand on top of left, big circle, and I press down. And that would end just the first 6 movements. The way I teach these, that can be in form all by itself, or we can just keep going from there instead of closing. Keep going right into the next form, which I'll show you how to do in the next video.